Hello, everybody. This is Ahmed, and this is another episode of the Breakout podcast here at the School of Advanced Studies in Tumen. And we have here today Polina, who is our student. She is actually one of our major students. And Polina will talk today with us about lifelong learning for your life. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we'll talk about too many things regarding life and learning. And so we will see what we are going to be talking about. And Polina, thanks so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Excellent. Wow. All right. So what do you want to discuss? If you wanted to discuss about this perception of you being a person, not you, I mean, a person simply learns for too many years, and maybe for the wrong reasons, maybe for the right reasons, but there is this strive for knowledge.
This is not only about this strive for knowledge, but rather, about psychological perception of, maybe we can call it curiosity, and versus arrogance. Because sometimes when you talk to somebody and this person is nice, you just talk to each other, but you know that in their head something is going on, and this something is extremely arrogant. For example, I don't know, maybe you found yourself in these situations when you think like, what a bullshit, what are you doing? This is shit. No, I'm here, like, I know better, I'm the better one, best one, wherever, and how the heck you're like telling me this stuff? I know everything and all this kind.
But let me throw on you this kind of opinion. What do you think if the entire mechanism or the entire idea of education is to build an arrogant mind? In the sense that we are all, we can say, the childlike. We are some sort of non-arrogant beings. A child cannot be arrogant, right? In a sense. Well, they can, right? But in a sense, I mean, they can be arrogant with their own simply demographic audience. Yeah. But you cannot perceive as a child here is arrogant unless the child can tell you, well, I have something more than you, right? And I don't know if a child can do that. I have my nephew who is 3 years old. I don't think that he can say these things not yet, at least. But what if the entire simply goal of education or the idea of education is to build an arrogant mind instead of a disciplined one?
That's actually interesting position, and now I see you're provoking me. But I believe that when you're arrogant in your head, when you're like have this arrogant mind, let's say, you cannot really learn as good as you could. Not only from like books and all this philosophical, academical texts, readings, wherever, but also about communication, just about, I don't know, well, we can call it peer learning, or just when you talk to people and you're curious enough to find something interesting, even when you think that the person is like telling some bullshit too. So when you in this position, you cannot really be curious enough to learn.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I feel like even I don't think when people bullshit, I don't think it's a bad thing if they know how to do it. All right, seriously. Most of the time, we had this actually interesting guy who was here one day, and he always said that I am bullshitting, right? He knew how to do that, all right?
He knew
He knew how to do that. And yeah, and I think that nobody ever said, oh no, this is really not true, he's just being arrogant here, right? Or, oh, we're not gonna listen to him, right? Because he's not saying the things that's supposed to be said. It's not true, it's not correct, he's trying to deceive us, he's manipulating us, or something like that, right? No, he recognized his limitation, and that might be actually part of the manipulation, is that he's saying I'm bullshitting, so whatever, all right, whatever you are going to be saying about me, it's true, okay? But also it might be a side of arrogance, is that I understand that you guys will think that I am arrogant and bullshitted all the time, so it's okay. I'm fine with that. So I don't think that bullshitting is a bad thing if you know how to do that.
But most of the people, they don't know how to bullshit.
How can we
And
then,
what is bullshit even?
yeah, that's the thing also. It's like I was about to say that how can we define bullshit? but again, okay, let's go back. Okay, our topic is not about bullshitting, right? It's about arrogance, right? So go back to the idea about this arrogance thing. When do you think that arrogance should be justified?
I don't think so. Because sometimes there are no explanations, no justifications. You just feel that this person is this way, and you cannot kind of verbalize this. They're just a feeling,
I see.
and you kind of adopt to this and act as a response for your feeling.
So you don't think that we can ever justify arrogance? Or it's not good to do that?
I don't think it's good or it's bad. It's just the thing that people live in, that people live with, because I believe it's just easier. It's just pretty easy to think kind of you know better. You don't need to question yourself. You don't need to consider that another person can know something better, something like, I don't know, maybe is more interesting than you in something, like more professional, profound, whatever.
Yeah, Melanika was here on the podcast, and she was talking about this idea of good cringe and bad cringe, right? And what I understood from her, what I understood from her is that good cringe is when you expect that this thing will be cringe. For example, kids are always good cringe, right? Yeah, so it's okay. I mean, do you know that they are kids? What can you do? So they are, yeah, good cringe. But bad cringe is when you have this superficiality of things, right? And you do not expect that they are superficial, right? So I'm trying to get the idea is that if we are taking this thought, all right, or this type of this framework of looking at good, bad thing, all right, like good cringe, all right, how arrogance can be perceived as a good arrogance. And I can see here, for example, that I have a lot of experience with a lot of professors who might have shown signs of arrogance, but it was really good. You're like, yes, I can tolerate that. But I saw a lot of other people that you simply are talking about right now, is that despite that maybe arrogance in this regard is good, but they are having a bad arrogance, right? So what do you think what here we can do, right, so that we perceive this arrogance as good or bad? What influences us? How about that?
First of all, you mentioned professors. And I do believe even when they're arrogant, they still have this, let's say, space in their mind to learn from their students, to notice some interesting things. And even though they are arrogant sometimes, which I never noticed actually, they're not really. So it's again, this kinda, sorta, not exactly. And when it's this way, I believe maybe it can be perceived as good. because
Mm-hmm.
again, they, even if they're arrogant, they still kind of question themselves.
Mm-hmm. I see. So you are saying, for example, is that when we know that this person, they are open to the idea that there is a space where they can show their arrogance, but it also includes another space
Yeah.
for learning
Yeah.
from others,
True.
like their students, for example. What is bad arrogance then? The absence of this space inside the space of arrogance?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
When people just, I'm the one who's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like it's a combination of being cringe and arrogant. That's a bad arrogance. I feel like, well, I can really be disgusted by a person who is arrogant when they are also cringe at the same time. I don't think that personally, I don't think that I can be cringed. I can perceive a person as very arrogant person in a negative sense, all right? But unless they are cringe at the same time. And I have example actually about, also if we are talking about professors or something like that, and I feel like this talk is about gossips right now.
SAS be like
Seriously, gossips, right? So
bullying. Let's discuss bullying.
yes, also, but wait. So there is an example of a person, for example, or again, a person who says, "Oh yeah, I understand, but listen to me, all right?" And the argument that they are providing is superficial in a sense. Then here I feel cringed, and here I think that arrogance is bad one, right? I feel like I need to be cringed first. All right, so that I perceive the arrogance that I am seeing. All right, the attitude, I will be like, yeah, yuck, that's a bad arrogance. But when I'm not cringed, maybe that's a good arrogance. For example, the guy who was bullshitting, right? We know that he was super arrogant, but I was never cringed, all right? Sometimes, all right, but overall, I wasn't cringed. I was enjoying the amusement of his talk. And and in this regard, I didn't say, well, he's arrogant, right? I was just saying that maybe he's bullshitting. But he already warned us about that, right? So, yeah.
That's so weird.
So, yeah, I feel like there is a connection here. Maybe Melenica would have, yeah.
Maybe. Well, I believe I have another perception of this. When I feel cringed and I feel the person is arrogant, maybe I'll just think, okay, this person is kind of crazy. That's it. I won't pay this much attention to this if I'm cringed. But if I'm not, I will like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Please go.
Go away.
Could you please go?
Yeah, I see. But it's actually very interesting, is it? Because you are speaking about this arrogance that its source is knowledge, all right? Or at least that's how people think they are arrogant because they are knowledgeable, right? So, what other sources of arrogance you think, in your opinion?
Well, as I said, it's just easier. And because it's easier, people do this.
But okay, yeah, so I see right now.
So again, you don't need to spend your energy to be anxious, to leave the space open for example, discussion. And you just, okay, I'm here, the only one, the best. And you don't need to kind of, I don't know, overcome maybe yourself.
I see. So, the problem is that I feel like this is a failure of education. It's just not because the person was brought up, grown up like in this way. I feel like it's a failure is that the educational space failed to hint to this person that other people should be included as well. Because in this regard about, as we said, that this is space, so there is a space for arrogance, but there is a space inside this space that it is already displayed that I can learn from you as well. I think it's about the feeling of inclusion, is that you should feel that you are included in this person process of reasoning, right? And because of that, you feel like, well, this person is not arrogant. This person is allowing me to be a direct contributor or participant in the dialogue that is happening inside their head, right? And I feel like the entire educational space can actually fail in hinting to this person that you should make people included in the discussion, rather than just, I don't know, like building a character that is trying to exclude others from participating in the dialogue.
I totally agree, but I'm not sure what education we're talking about. Like higher education, or it's about school.
I think it's school education.
It's school.
Yeah, I think it's a school one. Yeah. I don't know, because when I asked my question at the beginning, when I said that, don't you think that maybe education, the entire educational idea is about building people arrogance or making them arrogant in a sense? Is that because if we are, or I don't know, okay, we say, let's say that we are all coming to the school arrogance, all right? And the school is trying either to discipline us or to boost this arrogance in this idea, okay? It's not like, it's not, this is the goal, it's just this idea. So some people, then their arrogance is being boosted, all right, to the degree that it's no longer controllable, all right, or can be managed, all right. But some people, then the educational space in the school, all right, it can actually discipline them. Then here education is about disciplining the arrogant mind, all right? Or is it about creating the arrogant mind first, but then sometimes people just get out of the framework, all right, or the boundaries? I'm just, in my mind, I'm trying to understand whether it's about this or that.
For me, probably school does not teach this arrogance, but teachers usually just show this arrogance.
Yeah.
And this is how it happens. You just see the person who is arrogant, where there is no space for discussion, where you just have to learn something, that's it, bye. And even when you come to the teacher after the class, for example, say something, and the teacher like, sorry, I have my lunch, bye. Yeah. Who are you? But actually in this sense I was lucky. I had really good school, and I always could come. I still come to my school, even like how many years? 4 years after my graduation, and I do have this space for discussion. And even if I think my teachers are arrogant, I still, kind of respect them. Exactly because of this, what we discussed, because of inclusion, let's say.
I see. Yeah. So, and that's actually why in my comment I said the educational space. I mean here by the space is not what you study. It's about the entire environment in the school. If we take in the school as an example in this regard, is that we are picking the attitude of others and how, especially the teachers, right? And we spoke a lot with Andrei and also with Arina Uskova about the mimetic desires, that students can mimic the teacher's behavior and attitude and even ideas and how they act and so on and so forth. Yeah, and we spoke about that there is some sort of a psychoanalytical level to it. All right. But anyway, that's simply something.
So we learn how to be arrogant.
Because of teachers, maybe. Yeah. And, or teachers, or we come arrogant, right? And the teachers discipline our arrogance. All right.
I believe in the first case.
You believe in this?
Because we already discussed that kids are not arrogant and they're not taught how to be arrogant. And then when you just see, you copy this.
So you think that, okay, because this is actually interesting, because if we are talking about this copying of things and this arrogance, because you wanted also to discuss bullying, right, in the schools and all of that, do you think that then might be a direct connection that some people are being bullies, all right, are being bullies because they picked up this attitude from teachers?
Yeah, why not? But I mean, bullying is not just a simple thing.
Yeah.
It's something that can be described in a lot of ways. And I believe bullying can be the way to establish a social bond. And it can be, sometimes it can be good.
In what way? Can you give us example?
Good friends. Maybe not good friends, but maybe colleagues. The better they know each other, there is this tendency that people start bullying each other when they're know each other like really close.
Yeah, that's true.
So this person will understand, and in this sense it's not a kind of really bullying, but the way to maybe get even closer.
I see. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't bully, for example, I don't know, some people. I would bully Nastya.
Yeah.
Because we're like close friends, best friends.
Yeah. I see. And she will not perceive. Actually, she will not even perceive it as bullying.
Yes.
Yeah, she will.
Maybe she will, but she will respond in a way that is, again, kind of bullying.
I see. But that's actually very interesting, is because the people who perceive bullying as a bad, as this bad thing, a bad attitude, bad behavior, right? Is it because they are not on the same level of either the power dynamic, all right, or the same social status, or all of that, right? And there might be arrogance is playing also a role in that. Is that, well, I am bullying this person because already I'm perceiving myself better than this person, or whatever, right? And so this person is here in the bottom, I'm here on the top, and because of that I can do this, and this is a bad bullying, right? There is an arrogant dimension to it in this regard. But when you are bullying a friend and they are like, oh, ha ha ha, and all of that, is it because you know that you are on the same level of everything, of the social status, power dynamic, or whatever, and just you are in the same page, all right, of understanding how or the social status of yourselves and all of that. Then here the bullying can be returned, right, or simply not it's just paid back, okay? And because of that you are like, ha ha ha, you can make a joke about it, right? Yeah, I see right now the connection.
But do you think teachers teachers teach us how to bully them if they show us arrogance?
Yeah, so I think, I think definitely that there is some sort of I think bullying is an interpretation of another thing, all right, that it's not seen. For example, if you see that there is a teacher who is trying to undermine you in front of the entire class, all right, and then you are the bully of the class, you are the one who's known by being strong or whatever, all right, or being arrogant in front of other people, but then the teacher is undermining you, then the teacher in a sense bullying you, right? And I think that then maybe the teacher has a reason. He's not bullying you for no reason. Bullying has no reasons. Bully is just out of act of showing muscles or whatever, right? But maybe the teacher is just undermining you in a way that you didn't do the homework. So the teacher is taking you as the butt of the joke, all right? Will make the entire class then about you forgetting your notebook, for example, right? The teacher has a grounds here for making that. I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying that it might be the thing, right? And then you go out of the classroom, you meet the kid or the peer, your colleague, that you know that you can then gain back the self-esteem, that you lost there in the classroom.
Yes,
So I think here bullying, all right, then this student or simply is bullying another person. I think it's just because of the self-esteem that was lost by the teacher, all right, in front, I mean, because of the teacher in front of everybody. So in order to gain it back, you go to project this attitude against another person. So maybe the teacher is not a direct influencer, but maybe just indirect. I don't know.
A trigger.
A trigger. Actually, maybe the teacher is a trigger. Yeah, maybe. And this kind of attitude has come as, yeah. So this is what we
As a
can do.
response.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
But that again, I believe, depends on the relationship between the teacher and the
Exactly. Yeah.
person.
I'm not saying anything. Yes, I totally think also that this trigger can only be qualified as a trigger. I mean, this incident can be qualified as a trigger only when the student has another like this type of relationship with the teacher, right? But if maybe the teacher is making this room of inclusion and then making you the butt of the joke, is not actually about you, it's just about the incident, it's about the event, and nothing personal, nothing anything, because the teacher has this ability to just create this type of classroom, maybe the trigger will never exist. All right, maybe, I don't know, right? So I don't know, really. It's a difficult one. It actually right now it makes me think about how much responsibility on the shoulders of the teachers in schools.
I believe a lot because I learned really a lot in my school.
Yeah.
Not only this like numbers, words, wherever, but I was the one who constantly annoyed teachers who needed a lot of attention, not only in the class, not only even after the class, but just in the whole week. I could text my class, wherever, mother, let's say, how it's called, class teacher, saying, oh, I'm like this word, blah, blah, blah. And she would reply. She did reply.
I see, yeah.
And maybe this is why I'm talking about arrogance here now.
Maybe.
Because I didn't really experience it like in this bad way, but only in a good way. And also, I believe what makes arrogance good is the ability of a person to say sorry. I know sometimes I can be arrogant. I really can. But then I apologize 100 times. And if the person do the same for me and the person realized that it was something wrong, okay, sorry, no offense taken.
I see. Yeah, the recognition of that is also hard part. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because people sometimes do not see they are arrogant.
Exactly.
Again, it's easier.
Yeah, that is easier.
Not to apologize.
Yeah. All right. So that was it, actually. So,
what was that?
Yeah. All right. So we talked about arrogance, school, educational space, environment, and too many things. Teachers, most of all. Yeah. And thanks a lot for Polina. For bullshitting. Thanks a lot to you actually, because you I don't know, you inspired us, I think. So I think.
Are you bullying me?
Yes. So thanks actually a lot for coming in today. And if you have any questions, please you can ask Polina. If you like the episode, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you later in, I don't know, somewhere. Bye bye.